Welcome to Learning Dutch with Robbert Veen. We are going to take a deep dive today into the poetry of Hendrik Marsman, who happens to be my favorite poet. We are going to listen to a dialogue about his work and listen to a few of his poems in both Dutch and English. I hope you will enjoy this. See you on Preply.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today we're taking a look at Hendrik Marsman.
Oh, a fascinating choice.
He's a Dutch poet. And for anyone who hasn't encountered his work, well, let's just say it can feel like.
Like looking through a telescope, right?
Exactly. But instead of stars, you're seeing like the human soul.
And all against this backdrop of the immensity of the universe.
Yeah, he was really into this idea of cosmological humanism. Have you heard of that?
Oh, absolutely. It's essentially the idea that we're both insignificant smecks and like vital threads in the grand scheme of existence.
Right. We're kind of both tiny and huge at the same time. And the way Marsman gets at this idea, especially for anyone studying intermediate literature, well, it's all about the imagery.
His use of imagery is incredibly powerful, for sure.
So are you ready to dive into some of his most vivid lines?
Let's do it.
Verhevene. Eeuwen wentelden hun volheid samen, zijn fundament. Nauw kon hun denkgedrocht omfamen zijn schedeltent. Haren sloegen hun vlag langs de hemel, bepansering. Scherp was zijn lijf, geel en vermetel, dat dansen ging. Maar hij, blonde boorling der zwellende jaren, hij tart de nacht en vlocht het ruige duister samen met zijn haren tot veilige vacht. Zo, schragend geleund in de nis der kimmen, zuigende schacht, zag hij ellende de hemel beklimmen, zijn eerste wacht.
Exalted, centuries rolled their fullness together, his foundation, narrowly could their thought encompass its skull tent. Hares whipped their flag along the sky, armor, sharp was his body, yellow and bold, that went dancing. But he, blonde, born of swelling years, he defied night, and braided the rough darkness together with his hair into secure fur. So, braced leaning in the recess of the bilge, sucking shaft, he saw misery climb the sky. His first watch.
Okay, so one that always blows me away is from Verheven Ewan, Lofty Ages in English.
Okay.
He writes, Verhevene Oiven, Ventelven hun volheidsam, zijn fundament, which translates to lofty ages rolled their fullness together, his foundation.
Wow, yeah, that line just throws you right into the middle of this immense cosmic landscape.
It does, right? And what do you make of that image, the ages rolling together?
It evokes this sense of vastness, of time itself swirling and kind of coalescing to form the foundation for everything. Like something way bigger than us, something we can barely comprehend.
And we're just like a small part of it, built on top of it.
Exactly.
And then there's this other line from Vlam, which means flame.
Vlam. Schuimende morgen en mijn vuren lach drinkt uit ontzaglijke schalen van lucht en aarde de opale dag.
Flame, foaming morning, and my fiery laughter drinks from awesome bowls of air and earth the opal day.
Where he talks about fiery laughter, drinking the opal day from bowls of air and earth.
Ooh, that one gives me chills every time. It's so vivid.
It's incredible how he can take something as simple as laughter and make it feel so cosmic.
Right. Like we're literally consuming the universe with every breath.
It's like, yeah, we're not just observing the universe, we're actively participating in it somehow.
Part of the cosmic dance.
Exactly. But Marsman doesn't just focus on these big sweeping images of the cosmos, right? He also brings it down to earth, literally, by focusing on the human body.
That's true. He weaves the universe into our very being.
Yeah. And how do you see him doing that?
Well, take vrouw, woman, for example.
Vrouw. Lichaam, wentelend al leven. Gedrochtelijk staan wij en massaal geheven tegen de rottend paarse hemel van verlangen. Hijgende nacht. Mijn vale handen tasten even het slierend kransen van uw blauwe haren, die gif en schemering vachten hemel waren over al ruimte. Uw gelaat, ivoor ovaal, waarin uw ogen spitse spleten hangen, een groen signaal.
Woman, body, wallowing all life. Monstrous we stand and mast raised against, the rotting purple sky of longing, panting night. My pale hands briefly touch the wreaths of your blue hair, which poison and twilight coats heaven over all space. Thy countenance ivory oval, wherein hang thy eyes, pointed slits, a green signal.
He describes a woman's hair as giffen schemring, which is poison, and halo. It's a stark contrast, but it speaks to this duality within us, this capacity for both darkness and light.
I love that line. So striking. And he also calls her eyes in grön signal, a green signal.
Yes, like stars emitting light, sending messages across space.
It's like our most basic features, even our bodies, are somehow linked to the cosmos. We are made of star stuff, as they say.
Exactly. And then in Blowy, Bloom, he goes even further, describing a person's arms as Himmelbruggen sky bridges.
Wow.
Bloei. O vrouw, bloeit schaduw, waaierbloem en firmament, dat sterren schrijden in de gang mijns bloeds en nacht de weerklank van de roep der handen en uit de zoom van mijn donkerheden onder de hemelbruggen mijner armen het maanzeil tastend over dansend stroomluif. O, het zal stranden aan de gifspelonk der ogen. Vrouw.
Bloom, O woman, blossom, shadow, fan, flower, and firmament, that stars stride in the corridor of my blood and night, the echo of the call of hands. And from the hem of my darkness, under the sky bridges my arms, the moon sail groping over dancing stream body. Oh, it will run aground to the poisonous pool of the eyes, woman.
Yeah, sky bridges. So our bodies, our arms can bridge the gap between heaven and earth. That's quite a concept.
It is. He's suggesting that we hold within us the same energy and power as the universe itself.
Okay, but this all sounds a bit optimistic, maybe?
Well, you're right. Cosmological humanism isn't all sunshine and roses.
Right, right.
I mean, when you really think about our place in this vast universe, it can be pretty daunting. We realize just how small and vulnerable we really are.
Yeah, the existential dread kicks in.
Exactly. And you can see this darker side in Marsman's work, too. Like in Einde, where the speaker calls himself in late small bloemem, a late narrow flower, facing the stilte van mijn schemernacht, the steepness of his twilight night.
Oh, I see what you mean. There's a real sense of fragility in those lines.
Yes, a sense of being this tiny flicker of life against the vastness of space. And it's not just about fragility, it's about a lack of control, too.
Right, like we're at the mercy of forces we can't even begin to understand.
Right. And Gang, Corridor, really drives that point home. The world is described as insgewebbelblom in wapperenden mond der ruimte, a crooked flower in the flapping mouth of space.
Oh, wow, that's an intense image. Crooked flower, flapping mouth of space. Yikes.
It's haunting. This idea that we're being tossed about by fate, by the universe. It doesn't really care about this little flower.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up this deep dive into Marsman's poetry, what would you say is the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's that Marsman's imagery is doing a lot more than just painting pretty pictures. It's wrestling with big questions about our place in the universe. The awe, the terror, the connection, and the isolation. All of it.
Right, it's not just about pretty pictures, it's about making sense of our existence,
That's
right?
right.
Like finding meaning in these fleeting moments we have against the backdrop of eternity.
Exactly. He challenges us to really think about these things, to feel them deeply.
So what do you think, what image or idea from Marsman's work has stuck with you the most?
For me, it's that sense of simultaneous grandeur and vulnerability that he captures so well. Like, we are both insignificant and incredibly precious. It's a paradox, but he makes it feel real, almost tangible.
That's the power of great poetry, I guess. taking these huge cosmic concepts and making them feel deeply personal. So as you continue to explore Marsman's work, and I hope you do, pay attention to the way his imagery makes you feel, how it challenges you, and how it connects you to something bigger than yourself.
Well said.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye, everyone.
Heerser. Hij schreed. En ruimte was hem soepel kleed aan het koele lijf. De gladde luchten spatten uit elkander en rode sterren wamden al hun wonder in wankelende nacht. Hij schreed. En ruimte brak aan zijn metalen tred en lucht verkromp voor zijn doorzengden zucht. Leven was enkele vlokken violette geur. Hij at, en aarde trok haar gillende spiralen door schrompelende nacht. Hij had geproefd. Hij stond, atoom en kosmos beide, en heersend was in echt zijn greep over de werveldans der elementen, die vorig glimlach van de stille knaap.
Ruler, he strode, and space was his supple garment. The smooth skies burst, and red stars sparkled all their wonder in wavering night. He walked, and space broke his metallic stride, and air shrank before his sigh. Life was a few flakes of violet scent. He ate, and earth drew its screaming spirals through shriveling night. He had tasted. He stood, atom and cosmos both, and reigning was in awe grip over the whirling dance of elements' ivory smile of the quiet lad.